Good morning, world. Happy Thursday, May 11th. Let me get my mood adjuster on. Shit. I'm stuck between this place of I want to do all the things all the time and I need some, like, just no. I don't want to just say people. It's not about the people necessarily. It is about the whole energy involved in doing anything. And not like I'm physically tired, but mentally. It's not even, it's weird. That's why I said I'm stuck in this weird place of I want to do all the things, but I also just need alone time. I guess it's the best way to. I need a lot of alone time, and I don't really get that. I mean, because I work, my husband's always here. So I just don't get I don't know. This is where I'm at. Just stuck between this place of I want to do all the things, but I also want all the time to be mine. Like where I just, just like there are days I feel like I could write all day long. I've never done that yet. I've never taken like a Saturday and just, in fact, I barely write on the weekends right now. I take a lot of notes. Anyway, because I'm doing all the things, It's an interesting place. And I have my trip to Ohio coming up, so I'm setting the timer now officially. And so my focus is on making that as smooth as possible, right? So let me get a drink of my lifestyle mix. I definitely need it this morning. I'm definitely just on a spiritual path. I don't know if that's really the right word. That doesn't encompass all of it. And so my brain is, I'm in a place of questioning everything. Because, yeah, everything. Even my own, like I have for a long time, my own memories even. Some of them are just, undeniable, of course, but, your memory is really not very reliable. So they say. So let me not get tied up into that. My brain is, I'm just thinking a lot and taking in a lot of information. And I feel like I'm bursting at the seams to write it all down. Yet I feel like I don't have the time to really think in that space that it needs to write. Because there's a lot of, yeah. I need like a staycation, right? But this is one of the reasons why I want to work for myself. This is one of the reasons I work on my Thrive business, because it's going to give me the time opportunity to do that. Because even if there is something that needs to be done for my Thrive business, it's not a full 8-hour thing. It doesn't have to be a full 8-hour thing where I'm stuck there and that's all I can think about for that full 8 hours. It's more of a work as you go, something pops up, do this or reschedule, and so you can actually take 8 hours and kind of shut down or, delegate and do an 8-hour writing session kind of thing, right? So anyway, my brain is just on go, 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 let me tell you. An exercise in being you. Oh. What would happen if you knocked down the proverbial fence that existed to keep you in line? What if you did what you enjoyed? What if broadcast paused anyway? Oh my goodness. What would happen if you knocked down the proverbial fence that existed to keep you in line? What if you did what you enjoyed? What if you loved who you loved? What would it look like to live on the other side of the fence? Would you be a different person? How? Sit quietly and explore these questions from time to time. Give yourself the space to listen for what comes. And then based on that, do whatever you feel compelled to do. Holy fucking shit, man. So as I've said before, I've been doing this morning mental prep for nearly 6 years now. This book, this is the second, maybe the third year that I've read it. I think we're in the third year because since I started doing this, I wanted to just go through this because none of you, unless you have this book, have heard these things. But some of them will stick. Some of them you will remember the next time around, right? And others maybe a little bit and others not so much or others not at all. There are definitely those that I don't remember at all reading. This is one of those things. That I don't remember. And it's interesting because it just tells me that I'm on my right path because it didn't stick for me before because I wasn't ready to hear it. I wasn't ready necessarily to ask those questions or really sit in that. And I just said in the beginning of this before I even read this, I'm in a state of questioning everything. I've always been a bit of a rebel, if you will. I've always been one to question the norm, but I've also been programmed, as with all of us, and watched the same stuff, in my nearly 46 years that many of us have. So that state of questioning everything has just moved up, into where I really am. Even questioning my own, am I questioning everything? Right? So I'm in a state of, okay, I question everything, but do we really know what, but I'm leveled up to the point where even that, am I really questioning everything or am I just going along with, okay, so we're just going to go with this one. I'm not sure how I opened up to this page, but we're going to... The law of attraction tells us divine power works miracles, and I believe, and I think that there's evidence out there that the divine is within us, not out there. It's within us. We are the divine, right? So divine power works miracles. Jesus served as a spiritual beacon. Quote, I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth in me should not abide in darkness. John 12:46. And an exemplar of how the power of God works through the human heart and mind. According to the New Testament Gospels, Jesus performed many miracles that seemingly defied natural laws of the universe. Ooh, I love having learned about this. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Among other things, he fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fishes, exorcised demons, showed a mastery over nature by cursing the fig tree that then withered, raised the dead on 3 occasions, and healed sick people. If you look up Dr. Joe Dispenza, all he is doing is giving the power of our heart and minds back to us. He's showing us how to find that. Yeah. Because we are that powerful. We are that divine. We are the creator. There's so many things that this makes me think about and stuff that is coming up for me and that I'm listening to and starting to read on. And You may have heard me say it before, but a conversation my mom and I had the last couple of years before she passed away was about Jesus, and that I believe Jesus was a human that walked the earth, was a being that walked the earth. I don't believe God is a man in the sky, a bearded man in the sky. And that's a whole other conversation. That's just giving you the foundation of the my mom's conversation. And so I was telling her, I was like, I definitely believe that he was a being that walked the planet, and so think about the things that he did. And we were talking also about the law of attraction. And we talked about, and I believe that that's not all he was teaching, but that's what he was doing. That's what he was teaching. And then and so this was something that was forming a few years ago, and I ran into, Dr. Joe Dispenza came into my existence over the last 2 to 3 years, maybe 4. I've been doing this self-development diving for the last nearly 6 years, so I'm down to 30 seconds. I started forming that belief, that feeling, that thought, that energy before Dr. Joe Dispenza, or right as he was coming into my existence. And then I saw the evidence of people healing themselves from everything up to and including terminal illnesses. Don't take my word for it. The information's out there. Dr. Joe Dispenza, and then just follow that path. Medical evidence. So then I'm like, well, this is exactly what Jesus was doing. Was teaching. I can't believe I'm talking about Jesus. Like, you just don't even understand. I can believe, because I understand it differently now. But we haven't been taught that, because if we understood that power and the power that we have, wherever, that is for you, wouldn't be able to control us and make the money that they're making and all kinds of things. And it's so complicated, but I don't want to go to that complicated route. That's not what I'm trying to focus on in doing these things. What I'm trying to focus on is just showing you a little bit of light about the divine power that is within you. And that even if you're Christian, and I'm sorry if I offend, never my intention to do so, but, it's been translated and mistranslated and mistranslated and mistranslated. So, and understanding things like the law of attraction and energy, frequency, and vibration and things like that, and then to think about the things that he did, claim to have done, whatever you want to call it. It's exactly the same thing. So I'm just here to show a little bit of information and light, even, that in hopes that you will do your own digging and come to your own conclusion. And that ideally, that whatever conclusion, ideally it is to help you feel better, live a better life, be a happier person. And sometimes that's exercise. Sometimes that's opening up your brain to new ways of thinking. At least considering it. You can't, how do you know? How do you know no? And if you reject something without even taking the opportunity to embark on it, explore it, and experience it, then how do you really know? You don't. You just don't, because you have no experience with that. A very crude and rough example would be for you to tell me that you know how I feel and understand how I feel as a childhood SA survivor. First 12 years of my life. Truly. No one can tell me that they understand or know how I feel or know about, they cannot truly. They can be empathetic and they can hurt because I hurt, but they don't really know. They don't know because they have not experienced that. And the only way to get that is to experience that. Not that I'm saying go do, get that experience, but that's right. So my timer went off, so I'm going to go do the rest of my gratitudes. The rest of my morning mental prep, which includes gratitude. Gosh, so many things. So many things. I encourage you to just be open, to explore new things, to create meaning in your life, because meaning will offset the tragedies, right? Or the bad days, everything from the bad days to the tragedies, right? If you have meaning in your life, then you kind of offset that a little bit, right? Doesn't make it as bad. So be open, try new things. Focus on your health and wellness. That's where I would encourage. That's what I would encourage. That's what I encourage. That's what this is all about for me. Health and wellness as a whole being, though. As a whole being. And so I'm at a point now where I've done the physical and dietary, if you will, food. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the word, but comparatively speaking, 6 years ago, it's like night and day. So now I'm at a point of where it's going a little deeper. I'm healthy. I'm feeling good. Things are going, so I'm not worried about being tired and exhausted all the time and just trying to just be. And that's being exhausting because I don't feel that way. So my brain has time and energy to expand and think about things and explore other things. And so that's why you start there. Health, exercise, food, and then as you're doing that more and more, like I said, it's going to just expand it into other things. All right, I'm out. I appreciate your patience. I'm going to go do the rest of my morning mental prep, which includes my affirmations and my gratitudes and my writing dump. I'm going to say it again today. I said it yesterday, but I'm grateful. I'd love to know what you're grateful for. You can drop it in the comments. But I'm grateful for your patience and understanding with me and going through this and doing this and just putting myself out there, because that's really, I'm doing it to get practice at talking to people, because that's what I enjoy doing. I'm finding, telling you about the stuff that I'm learning and, experiencing all the things. And I know that on days like today, when my brain is just going and going and going and question after question, and and I don't take the time to write, it builds up. And I've been saying this for probably 2 weeks now, a couple times, and then I feel like I'm scrambled. So I appreciate your patience and understanding. I'm grateful for that. And that no one's on here telling me, laughing me off the platform, right? At least you're laughing in private if you are, because you're not coming to me and doing it. So I appreciate that. I'm grateful for that, because some days I just, like today, there's just so much. There's just so much I want to share. So much I want to share and explore and share as I'm exploring it, right? So, yeah. Go sit in your gratitude. Take 5 minutes, find 5 things that you're grateful for that happened in the last 24 hours. My glasses and I always get this battle. Right now, things are a little oily, I think. They really need to sit up here. And I don't, this is... I'm grateful for glasses, though. I'm grateful that I can see. I'm definitely that. What are you grateful for? Let me know in the comments. Whatever you're grateful for, it is the one thing, along with exercise, 2 things I encourage you to start with when it comes to mental prep and, really mental prep and mood support, exercise and gratitude. Yeah, go sit in your gratitude. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, and as always, peace and love.